Imagine a world post-apocalypse where running water is a luxury of the past. How would you survive? This isn't just a scenario for a dystopian novel, but a potential reality we could face. Water, the essence of life, is a resource we often take for granted. It's not just about quenching our thirst, it's about cooking our meals, maintaining hygiene, and sustaining our health. Today we're going to tackle the ultimate survival question. How can we survive without running water? We're not just talking about a few days of camping in the wilderness, we're talking about a world where the convenience of turning a tap and getting clean, safe water is just a memory. We'll explore tips and tricks for finding, purifying, storing, and even bathing with water in a world where running water is a thing of the past. Ready to dive into the world of water survival? Let's get started. Remember that saying, you can live 3 weeks without food but only 3 days without water? It's true. And it's not just a catchy phrase to scare you into carrying a water bottle around. The human body is around 60% water, and every single cell, tissue and organ requires it to function. Without water, things start to go downhill pretty quickly. First off, water helps regulate your body temperature. You know that sweat that trickles down your brow after a jog or a hard day's work? That's your body's cooling system, and it's powered by water. Now think about being stuck in a scorching desert or a tropical jungle without enough to drink. Not a pretty picture, right? Next, water helps with digestion. It aids in the breakdown of food and the absorption of nutrients. Without it, your body can't get the fuel it needs to keep going. That's like trying to drive a car without gas, it just won't work. Lastly, water is crucial for waste removal. It flushes out toxins and waste products that your body doesn't need. Without enough water, these toxins could build up, leading to all sorts of health problems. So, how much water do we need? Well, it varies. On average, a person needs about a gallon of water per day under normal conditions. If you're in a hot climate or exerting yourself physically, that need can double or even triple. That's a lot of water, especially if you're in a survival situation with a limited supply. But don't let this scare you. While it's crucial to stay hydrated, it doesn't mean you need to be constantly chugging water. Overhydration can be just as dangerous as dehydration, leading to a condition called hyponatremia, where your body's sodium levels become dangerously low. Now that we understand the importance of water, let's discuss how to find it. If you find yourself in the wilderness without water, don't panic. Nature provides. The wilderness might seem like a barren and desolate place at first glance, but it's actually teeming with resources if you know where to look and how to use them. One of the most important of these is water, the lifeblood of survival. Let's explore some ways to find water when you're out in the wild. The first option is collecting rainwater. Mother Nature can often provide a readily available supply of water, if you're patient and resourceful. Use any large, flat surfaces you can find to catch the rain. This could be a tarp, a tent, or even large leaves. Funnel the water into a container and you've got yourself a source of hydration. But what if it's not raining? Well, you can still tap into nature's bounty by collecting dew. In the early morning, you'll find dew on grass, leaves, and other vegetation. Use a cloth or sponge to soak up the dew, and then squeeze it into a container. This method can yield a surprising amount of water, but it does require a bit of effort. If there's no rain or dew, don't lose hope. Another option is to dig for water. If you're near a dried-up riverbed, a lake, or a pond, start digging. The ground beneath the surface often holds water that has seeped down from the surface. It might take a bit of elbow grease, but it can be a lifesaver in a pinch. And finally, look for natural springs or streams. These are often found in hilly or mountainous areas, and the water is typically clean and safe to drink. But remember, always be cautious. Even seemingly clear water can contain harmful bacteria or parasites. Once you've found water, the next step is making sure it's safe to drink. Survival isn't just about finding resources, it's about using them wisely. So stay tuned as we delve into how to purify your hard-earned water in the next scene. Not all water is created equal. Drinking contaminated water can be deadly. When you're trying to survive in the wilderness, it's crucial to remember that not all water is safe to drink. Even the clearest, most pristine-looking stream can hide invisible threats like bacteria, viruses, and parasites. These hazards can lead to serious illnesses, making it even harder for you to survive. That's why it's essential to purify any water you find before you drink it. Now let's delve into some common methods of water purification. First up, we've got boiling. This is one of the simplest and most effective ways to purify water. All you need is a heat source and a container. Once your water reaches a rolling boil, let it boil for at least 1 minute to kill off any harmful organisms. In higher altitudes where the boiling point of water is lower, you'll want to boil your water for at least 3 minutes. Next, we have purification tablets. These are lightweight, easy to carry, and a lifesaver in situations where you can't start a fire. Just add the recommended number of tablets to your water, wait for about 30 minutes, and voila, safe drinking water. But remember, these tablets won't remove any physical debris from your water, so it's best to filter your water first if it's murky. Speaking of filters, let's discuss makeshift filters. You can create one using a bottle, sand, charcoal, and a cloth. Start by cutting the bottom off your bottle, then layer your materials. Cloth on the bottom, then charcoal, then sand. Pour your water into the top, and it will filter through, coming out cleaner at the bottom. This method isn't perfect, but it can help remove physical debris and some contaminants. Remember, it's better to be safe than sorry. When in doubt, combine these methods to ensure your water is as clean as possible. Boil your filtered water or use purification tablets after filtering. With your water purified, let's move on to storing it. Your survival could depend on it. Storing water properly can ensure you have a supply for when you need it most. It's a crucial step in our survival journey. So, how do we go about it? Well, the simplest method is to store water in clean, airtight containers. If you've got some plastic bottles or jerry cans lying around, give them a good rinse and they'll do the trick. But what if you're out in the wilderness and containers are scarce? In this case, you can get creative. Dugout pits lined with clay or a waterproof material can serve as makeshift reservoirs. Whether you're using containers or pits, remember this golden rule. Always keep your stored water covered. This prevents contamination from dust, insects, or other unwanted elements. So we've taken water from a mere survival need to a well-managed resource. We've found it, we've purified it, and we've stored it. But we're not done yet. So we've found, purified, and stored our water. But what about hygiene? Hygiene is critical for preventing disease, especially in survival situations. When running water becomes a luxury you can't afford, maintaining cleanliness might seem like a daunting task. But fear not, we've got some practical solutions to keep you fresh and clean in a pinch. Let's start with wet wipes. These handy little inventions aren't just for baby bottoms. They can be used for a quick wipe down of your hands, face, and body. Opt for the unscented variety to avoid attracting unwanted wildlife or insects. Remember, a pack of wet wipes can be a game changer in your survival kit. Next up, consider the good old-fashioned sponge bath. All you need is a sponge or a washcloth and a small amount of water. Dampen the cloth, then wring it out so it's not dripping. Start with your face and work your way down, re-wetting the cloth as needed. Remember to save sensitive areas for last to avoid cross-contamination. For those fortunate enough to be near a stream or lake, a quick dip could do the trick. However, this should be a last resort. It's crucial to remember that natural bodies of water may carry harmful bacteria or parasites. If you decide to take the plunge, make sure you dry off completely to prevent hypothermia and avoid ingesting any untreated water. Now you might wonder, what about soap? Well, if you have it, use it, but if you don't fret. Soap is a luxury, not a necessity. Your primary aim is to remove sweat, dirt, and bacteria from your skin, and water alone can do a decent job of that. Lastly, always remember to use purified water for hygiene purposes whenever possible. This might seem like a waste, but remember, keeping clean is a key part of staying healthy, and health is your #1 priority in a survival situation. Now you're equipped with the knowledge to survive without running water. But remember, practice makes perfect. So continue to hone these skills and you'll be well prepared for whatever the future holds. Surviving without running water isn't easy, but it's definitely possible. We've journeyed together through the wilderness, finding hidden water sources in nature's nooks and crannies. We've discovered that hydration is not a luxury but a necessity, and to achieve that, we've learned the art of purifying water. It's fascinating, isn't it, how a simple process can turn a murky puddle into a drinkable resource. We've also delved into the importance of storing water because preparation is key. And yes, we haven't forgotten about cleanliness either. Bathing without a running tap might seem daunting, but with a few clever tricks, it's quite manageable. It's crucial that we practice these techniques, not just for a doomsday scenario but for any situation that might arise. Because in the end, adaptability is our greatest survival tool. Stay prepared, stay vigilant, and remember, water is life.